Good morning, and thank you for joining us here today. My job today is to convince you that the LG G2 is the most exciting smartphone on the planet. But today, I'm going to stick with the top 5 breakthroughs. It's the design, display, camera, sound, and user experience. So let's dig in. Design. Smartphones have come a long way since they were first introduced. They've gotten more powerful and bigger. Most smartphones have buttons on the sides and on the top. And you're supposed to push them with the very same fingers that you're using to hold on to the phone in the first place. For too long, we've been blaming our fingers for smartphone drops that are simply not their fault. We figured there had to be a better way. LG observed thousands of users, and it turns out that most people naturally hold the phone this way because it's the most comfortable, most stable way to hold a smartphone. So we listened and we learned from you. As you heard Dr. J.S. Park say, we put the power and the volume buttons right on the back of the G2. It sounds so simple, and it's a big design enhancement, and it's the first of our 5 breakthroughs that we're going to talk through. Actually more usage time and still allows us to use the rear key. So what does this rear key give us besides a more comfortable and more stable grip? Well, for one thing, the rear key means you can find the volume control without looking at the phone. And this works whether you're right-handed or left-handed. The rear key is right where your index finger goes. Just like knocking on the door of a friend's house, G2 wakes up with a couple of taps of your hand. Knock it again, and it turns off. The volume control also doubles as a means to launch G2's quick memo function and camera. So now, taking a selfie on the center stage in Lincoln Center got a whole lot easier. And no need to worry about smudges on the camera lens, because we used an anti-fingerprint sapphire crystal lens that is 3 times stronger than tempered glass. With all the important controls now living on the back of the phone, the front and the sides of the G2 are buttonless zones that are free for the display. Said another way, the rear key is the only, let me say that again, the rear key is the only physical button on this device. The G2 is sleek and stylish. Its look is one of a kind. The rear key makes the G2 more comfortable, functional, convenient, and beautiful. It's a great idea, and really, it's your idea. We learned it from you. So, 2.7 inches. We know from looking at how people use their smartphones that it's the width of the phones most people are carrying. So if 2.7 inches is the most common width, what is the largest possible screen you could get on a phone? I guess theoretically, it could be as big as a football field, but that's not very portable. The G2's display screen is 5.2 inches, and those 0.2 of an inch are a big deal. And here's why. Smartphones have to serve 2 masters, our eyes and our hands. We've learned from you that if your eyes were calling the shots, they'd make a display that's as big as possible. But your hand also wants what we were just talking about, comfort, size versus comfort. On the display, the touch sensors cross like tiles, and once a person touches the display, the touch sensors send a signal through the connector to the chipset, and that fires up the application that the user just activated. The touch sensor on existing products only allows for a single connector, and this requires a thicker bezel around the phone. We gave the G2 a touch sensor that uses 2 connectors. That's right, more is better in this case, and this allows for a significant reduction in the size of the bezel. We've put that extra space to productive use. The result is a G2 with a width of 2.7 inches, a brilliant 5.2-inch display, and an ultra-thin bezel at 1/10 of an inch. When most people look to purchase a smartphone, they judge according to PPI, or pixels per inch. But the number that they really should be looking at is subpixels. And as you can see here, both are full HD displays, but the difference is huge, and the picture looks fantastic. So the first of our breakthroughs was an intuitive design, and that lets your hands and fingers do what they really want to do. And the second is G2's 5.2-inch full HD IPS display, and that provides an amazing picture without sacrificing anything in the comfort department. The G2's optical image stabilizer, or OIS for short, allows the camera to take crystal clear images even in a moving car. Now, there are other smartphones out there with OIS technology, but until now, OIS has mostly been available on 4-megapixel or 8-megapixel smartphone cameras. The G2 makes OIS technology available for the first time on a 13-megapixel smartphone camera without any boxy bumps or unsightly lens housings, and it'll help maintain its slim, sleek design. Now, not only can you take clear, non-blurry pictures from a moving car, but you can take crisp, perfectly lit pictures at night. So, breakthrough number 3. The G2 is the only smartphone with a 13-megapixel camera without the extra bulk to have an OIS function truly inspired by the operation of the human eye. So you might be thinking, is it time to responsibly recycle your old digital camera? That's for you to decide, but I do know that for me, when I'm on vacation next week, the G2 will be the only device I take with me to take pictures. Some smartphone manufacturers have tried to embed the hi-fi technology into the smartphone. Unfortunately, it's no simple task. At LG, with our innovative audio technology, we were able to rise to the challenge. The G2 produces sound quality at 24-bit, 192 kilohertz, the same standard used in professional recording studios. It's a huge leap forward for smartphone audio. It's our 4th breakthrough. We've talked about breakthroughs in design, display, camera, and sound. All of these breakthrough features and dozens of others included in the G2 contribute to our 5th breakthrough, the outstanding user experience that you will get every time you turn on the G2. So let's take a look at how the G2 can save you even more time and how we learned it from you. Wow. The G2 really does make it all possible. From the G2's first-of-its-kind rear key design, its phenomenal 5.2 Full HD IPS display, its 13-megapixel technology with OIS, and its studio-quality sound, and a user experience that even you and your kids will love together, the G2's 5 breakthroughs, it means one thing, that life's good for all people all around the world. And this isn't the end. It really is just the beginning. LG will continue learning from you. Because remember, with LG, it's all possible.